Okay, going to show you how to create a project and get the designer working and create a picture box. So hopefully you got a project created yesterday. If not, I'll run through an example anyway. So we're going to create a new Java project with file new. And then best way to name projects is with CA and then your last name and then name the project. Default location is good. Your Java should be set to 16 here, and then at the bottom, if turn off create module info, it doesn't do anything useful. Click finish, and then you can create a new other, and then in this pop-up here, there's a folder called WindowBuilder, which is the part of Eclipse that allows you to drag and drop buttons and forms and stuff like that. So inside the category for Swing Designer, choose JFrame. And then we're going to name frame starting with FRM, and you can go about and put your name on it. And notice how we've got a source folder. This is matching up with the project here, and it's going to create a package as well. That looks good. So here's the package that I told you it was going to create, and then here's the frame. At the very bottom now, you should have a tab that says Design. If it's missing, you can right-click on it and go to Open with WindowBuilder Editor, and then you'll be able to click on the designer. Now inside the palette here, you can choose the objects that you would like to use. So we can add labels. Okay, so if you click on it to start, you can't always drag them around. So let's click in the empty space here, and let's change the layout to absolute. And now you'll be able to drag your labels around and change the text. Put my name in here and resize. Give it a little extra space, more than you need. And if you want, you can center it. And the variable for this, labels start with LBL. We always use 3 letters at a time to identify what type of thing it is, and then just give it a moniker. So this is about your name. And then I'm going to show you how to add a picture box here. So I've posted you 2 files on Teams. If you go over to Teams and then go to the Files tab, you should see 2 files in here, PictureBox and Image Cache. So let's create those 2 files in Eclipse. The way that I'm going to do this, I'm going to open up PictureBox on Teams here and copy everything from line 3 downwards. So all the way to the bottom and copy. So the only thing that I'm leaving behind here is the package at the very top, because when we create the file over here in Eclipse, it'll have that already. So and it's important because we need the last name to match yours. So let's right click on your package and create a class. Now you need to call it PictureBox and match the capitals to what my file has here as well. So capital P, capital B, and there's no space in between. And we can just turn off all the options here. Click finish. And what we're going to do is we're going to leave the package at the top, but we're going to replace everything from line 3 down. So delete that, paste, and save. Now at this point you should have 3 errors. These are related to the cache, which is the file called image cache here. So we're going to repeat the same steps with the other file. So I'm going to go back to Teams, close this file, open up image cache, and same thing. So let's create the file called image cache, turning all my options off, and then we're going to replace everything after the package with everything after the package on the file that I gave you on Teams. And copy and paste. And really important, it updates your errors as soon as you save. So PictureBox still has errors in it. Make sure that you save the PictureBox file and then save your image cache file. As soon as you do that, your PictureBox errors should clean up. You should see that the red error goes away. And if I look in my problems view, which I can get to by going Window, Show View, Problems, there should be no errors in here. Then what we can do, I wrote you some instructions in the very top of the PictureBox file here of how to use it, and let's do that. So to use this class, create a JLabel on your JFrame, then change it from this to that. Okay, so we're going to go back to our designer here, and we're going to create another JLabel. And the reason that we're doing that is to get it to create the size and all the location of it for us. And now let's flip-flop over to the source of it. And you should see this new label here. Notice the format of this here matches. So we see JLabel, JLabel. It's got a name, and then new JLabel with some text in the string here. And so we're going to change that. So it's going to be a picture box. And the name, we want to change all three of these. So these 3 lines of code, they have to all match. The best way to do this is to have Eclipse do the rename of all 3 at once. So let's go to, the way that I'm going to do this, I'm going to select the name and right click right on the center of it, and then in the menu for refactor and rename, notice how it puts up a pop-up on here that I'm refactoring, and I see a little bit of a box around the other ones as well. I'm going to call this a picture of me, and notice how the other ones change as well, and then hit enter. And now I can make this as a picture box, and let's give it the folder. I want it to use a folder called images, and let's give it a picture name. The one that you saw in the example here is me-golf.jpg. And now we need to create the images folder. So really important, we've been clicking on the package before that. All of our source files are in here, that's Java code. Let's make a folder in the project itself that we're going to call images, and that's just for picture files. Now when you're doing this, capitals matter, so I'm using all lowercase, no spaces. Click finish, and then we can drop our file into this folder. So the best way to get into the folder is to right click on it and go show in System Explorer, and what that'll do is it'll pop open the folder for you, and now I can see my images folder, and I can drop in my image into this folder. So here's my other folder that's got that image. I'm going to copy it into this folder. And be careful, make sure that the capitals matter here. So I'm using all lowercase, I'm not using any spaces, and I've got JPG here. When I come back to Eclipse here, it doesn't show up in images right away, but you just need to go to refresh. You'll be able to see it. You can open it up. There I am, I'm golfing. And if you come back to your designer here, you'll be able to see that there's a picture box. It doesn't do anything in the designer, but as soon as you run this Java application by right-clicking on the frame and click run, there you go. There's your picture box and your image is loaded.